Have you ever found yourself wondering why it's so hard to save money while other people seem to do it like they're natural born savers? Well, in this video, I'm going to share a few things with you that will help you to stop fighting your human nature, stop trying to save more money, and actually it will make saving money super easy. Believe it or not, I've managed to save an entire year's salary in just a few years. And in this video, I'm going to share with you some secrets that have helped me to do that with ease. So when it comes to money, there are really two different types of people. There are savers and there are spenders. For savers, they're able to save money with little to no effort, but for the spenders, on the other hand, it takes a huge amount of effort and concentration for them to save any money at all. And maybe you can relate to one out of those two people groups, but I think the majority of people tend to be spenders. But why are things so much easier for the savers? Well, it's because human natures tend to move towards pleasure and away from pain. So what that means is for the natural savers, spending money is actually usually more painful than saving it. And on the other hand, for spenders, saving money is generally more painful than spending it is. And this brings us to the secret of how we can change from being a spender into being a saver. Now, it does take some more effort initially, but if you want to save more money, the effort it takes to become a natural saver is going to be way less than you fighting your human nature as a spender. So for those of us who are natural spenders, how can we change to become a natural saver? It's extremely simple. First, we need to make saving money easier and less painful, and at the same time, we need to try to make spending money more painful and less convenient, at least temporarily. Once we give ourselves enough time to form new habits, we can ease up on the pain part and still be able to save money effortlessly. And again, the secret to saving more money is not about trying harder. It's about becoming a natural saver and creating some habits that enable us to save money without even having to think about it. So let's start with the things that we can do to make saving money more convenient. First up, you're going to want to automate your savings. What I would recommend for this step is to open a new savings account because having a new account will make it easier to form a new habit. So I'll link a video at the end of this one that shows you which savings account I think you should choose. So that'll be a good next step for you coming out of this video. And after you do that, you're going to have your new savings account, and all you need to do at that point is automate a deposit into that account. For the amount, I would start with a much smaller number than you think, probably between $20 to $50 once per week, depending on how much money you're making. And over time, you can increase the amount if you want to save money faster, but when you start out, it's important to keep the amount small so that saving money is as easy as possible for you, especially when you first start out doing it. And actually, this is the only step that I'm going to give you to make saving money easier. By only having one method of saving money, it gives you a lot less decisions to make. When you have your automated deposit set up, you're able to spend the rest of your money guilt-free. As time goes on and you want to be saving more money, all you have to do is go back into that automated deposit and increase the amount. Okay, so now let's talk about how we can make spending money a little more painful and more inconvenient, at least on a temporary basis. By doing this, we can slow down our spending for a bit, enough to form some new habits and become natural born savers. I have a few different suggestions for you on how to do this, but it's really up to you to choose the ones that you think will work best for you because everybody is different and has different lifestyles. Suggestion number one is to spend an entire month without using your credit or debit cards. Of course, you'll have your reoccurring subscriptions and everything, but try to do all of your spending and one-time purchases with cash. If you do this, you will not be able to make any online purchases, and every time you're out, spending money will be a little more painful because you'll have to physically hand over some cash, and when you run out of that cash, you'll have to go back to the ATM to get more cash. Most people, when they try this, end up spending way less money than they do normally, and at the end of the month, they have some new habits habits formed that make it easier for them to spend less money in the future. Suggestion number 2 is to think of everything you buy in terms of how many hours it would take for you to earn that money. And I actually still do this to this day. But for example, if you were to place a DoorDash order, when you're at the checkout page, look at that final amount after taxes and everything and calculate how many hours at your job after tax it would take for you to earn that same amount of money. You might end up making dinner yourself that night because you realize that it would take you 2 to 3 hours of work to make that money back. And finally, suggestion number 3 to make spending more painful is to actually do nothing. Don't change anything about your regular life, because I know for most of you watching this video, you're going to click off and do none of these steps. So the easier that you can make this transformation, the more likely you're going to be to actually go through with it. But even just by setting up a new savings account and automating a regular deposit into that account, you're going to put yourself in a better financial position than most people. And with that, I'll leave you to taking your next step. I have linked here a video on what I think the best savings account is, and it just takes a couple minutes to open. It's not a referral link, but I would encourage you to take that next step after watching this video.